we should see a breakout happen in June.
Okay, something really exciting happened. That is very rare, at least for me, is I was able to call my shot. If you remember, 7 weeks ago on camera, I said that I spent $50,000 in about 14 months of my time to try to crack Meta in a very expensive market that we're in B2B. And there were 0 deals that occurred. Well, all that changed last month, and I'm really excited to share some of those numbers and how we got there. Because if you remember, I said that this was going to happen, that June was going to be a breakout month. Sure enough, it was. And again, for those who don't know me, my name is Jake Haynes and my wife is Savannah. We're parents of 4. And after 4 layoffs in 2.5 years, we started our own companies about 3 years ago. They're both now doing about 7 figures. And now our job is trying to document this in real time. We aren't a part of the MLM. We don't have a course to sell you or school community. We are legitimately just trying to help other entrepreneurs, specifically, hopefully, parent entrepreneurs who are trying to get their business off the ground as well, and taking some of these things or some of these questions that people are asking us in real time and answer them to everyone out there on the internet. Okay, for those who don't know me, here's a little bit of a scoreboard. My business, which is B2B, software development agency, we did $100,500. In June, we did $82,000. In July, we were tracking to do somewhere between $100,000 and $115,000. And every month, it's growing about 10 to 15% after July based on what we had coming in and projecting. Now, let's go back to the clip from prior.
Of May 22nd, 2026, the leading indicators on this new campaign of taking the old ads that worked in the engagement campaign into the lead campaign that I relaunched a few weeks ago, it's already showing to operate more efficiently. So unless it all just breaks again, then we should see a breakout happen in June.
So June was very exciting. It wasn't like a huge influx of leads came in. We actually really only had 2 high quality deals come through the funnel. We spent $9,061.71 for those 2 leads, which means that our cost per lead was over $4,500. For most people, that is very, very high and extremely expensive and not profitable for most. But what was really exciting out of this is that 1 deal closed within a week. And while our contracts are month to month, based on what we're talking about, this could be worth over $192,000 based off all the work that they want done. And then the second lead that came in wasn't a slouch either. So we had a great conversation, and actually it looks like they might onboard mid-August, because closing within a week for a deal cycle of this kind is very rare, but I'm very thankful for. The second one is looking to close within 45 days, which is still pretty short for our industry, but nothing real is real until it is signed. But we'll keep an eye on that and update you accordingly. And since we're looking at today is July 13th, what I did not expect is that in the first week of July, which was a holiday weekend here in America, is that 2 more leads came in of decent quality. One was a no-show, which was the first of this entire year of any lead coming in and not showing up. And the second one is more of a partnership. This person is a consultant who wants to get us looped in on a few companies that he works with, as well as the company that he W-2s with as well. So a double partnership opportunity, which could in and of itself be its own acquisition channel, interestingly enough. And going back to the economics of it all, it might seem like this just doesn't make sense. How can you reasonably pay $9,000 a month into 2 leads, and how can that be profitable for you all? Well, if you listen to Alex Hermanuzzi at all, he always talks about the most important thing in a business is lifetime gross profit to your customer acquisition costs, which just essentially means out of what you pay to acquire a customer, how much money do you actually make in net profit? So once you've paid for the service to be fulfilled, how much do you make at the end of that? If one person with my software agency comes in and pays for 1 month of service at $16,000, and it costs us, let's say, 50% margin for a software developer to fulfill the service within that month, then we would have 50% margin, or $8,000 on average. And then if we paid for that lead $4,000 and our profit is $8,000, then we have a 1-to-2 relationship on we pay $4,000 and make $8,000. Now, of course, our unit economics are different because the lifetime gross profit is much longer, considering that most people who come to us stay at this point over a year or more. So we're talking about the lifetime gross profit being more around $90,000 to $100,000, meaning that if we pay $4,000 per lead and only one of them closes, that means we're paying what, $16,000 for a deal or for a customer. But if they stay for the average time that a customer stays, then we make on average, $100,000 to $200,000. That could be what, 8 to 20 times the amount of money that we pay for them that we're making in profit. So our situation is a little bit unique because it is such a high ticket offer. But that's why you as a business owner have to really know your numbers, because if you can, for us, it's a lever that will pull every single day. It may not be a lever that you could pull reasonably because you can afford any customers if you had to pay that much for us. But for us, we're paying $1 and getting $9 in profit back conservatively, where if we look at the blended average of what it could be if it continues to gain consistency like it has, then we could be looking more at every dollar that we pay in advertising. We get $17 back. So that's the most important ratio you have to think about in your business, especially in marketing. So I hope that made sense to you. It's very exciting to see that things are starting to trickle in and gain more and more consistency. Nothing, again, really occurred differently from what I mentioned in May. It's just more of that we relaunched the campaign, had to fix some structural things, not only in the campaign itself, but also within our custom application that kind of runs this funnel. And then it just took time to get off the ground. Think of this advertising campaign like a big fat jet engine, and it's huge and it's heavy and it takes a lot of fuel. Because our cost per lead, our cost per acquisition is very high, being able to gain momentum in it just means that you have to spend more money and wait longer for it to gain consistency. And so since this was relaunched at the beginning of May, we really didn't see full velocity hit until a month and a half later, which is now you're seeing the results of. And what does July look like? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, so far we had 2 leads come in like 3 days around the holiday, which was not in any way expecting that. So what do I expect July to be? I don't know, maybe another lead or 3 on the upper end, which hopefully something should shake out, another deal from that, but probably not within the month. That is pretty unusual for the people that we work with. So we have 2 leads so far. I imagine we'll end somewhere between 3 and 5 leads total for the month, which I'd be very happy with. And I'll make sure to give you an update here shortly once July ends. Talk to you soon.